Hey guys, Ivan here at ivanmana.com. Welcome back. So I was browsing through some ClickBank offers and I came across a quiz landing page which looks something like this. And I thought, hey, these quiz landing pages are amazing to use. How come I've never made a video on this? And so in this video, I want to show you how to create a page that looks something like this for a different ClickBank product. We're gonna build the page together and you should be ready to use it for whatever offer you want. I will also add an additional added bonus, so stay till the end of this video so that you can know what it is and so that you can receive it. Now, these types of quiz landing pages are useful for two reasons mainly. One is it adds an extra layer of commitment for the user. So as the user has to click these buttons, they keep clicking and clicking and clicking, and it's a little minor psychological thing that's going on that makes them more committed to your offer and more interested in finding out about what you have to offer and more inclined to buy because they spend so much time clicking, basically. The other benefit of these quiz landing pages is that you're able to give a customized experience to users. So this is especially useful, for example, for Max Bounty, where you have all these different offers for all these different companies or restaurants, like $100 McDonald's gift card, $100 Wendy's gift card, $100 Burger King gift card. And what you can do is you can create this sort of landing page for a Max Bounty product, for example, and you can send people to different pages depending on their reply. So I'm going to show you how to do all that here. We will be using ClickFunnels. As you know, I love Unbounce. That's my landing page builder of choice. However, they don't have the capability to add surveys or quizzes, and so we'll be doing that in ClickFunnels. Before we get into it, guys, make sure to hit like and subscribe if you enjoy content and tutorials like this. I will be putting more out. Also, make sure to hit the notification bell icon so you get notified when I release new videos just like this. That being said, let's get into it. So the first thing we're gonna do is select a ClickBank product. We're gonna head over to Marketplace and find something that we didn't promote yet. We promoted a bunch of products, but let's find something we haven't. So what I'm gonna do here is click this little magnifying glass so it sorts all the offers based on popularity. They removed that, they now call it rank. And I believe we've promoted Proven or tried to. We've promoted Resurge. We haven't promoted Steel Bite Pro. We have promoted Diabetes. So we've promoted a bunch of these already. Tinnitus we've promoted. So let's go from top to bottom. Let's maybe promote this offer here, Steel Bite Pro. Okay, so we're gonna create this quiz landing page for Steel Bite Pro. So let's click on it, see what it looks like. Okay, so it's a video. So what we can do, right? Let's create something in our head. Let's create a plan. So let's create a survey page asking questions about people having tooth decay, like, hey, do you have tooth decay? Maybe whatever people do, we would maybe have to read through this a little bit and just get some more ideas, get some more information about what we can ask people. And then we're gonna send them to this landing page, to this video page. Now, ideally, and if you want, you can send them to a customized page. So you can send them to a customized page for tooth decay, and then for a different page if they have gum problems, and so on. But for the purpose of this video, we'll just send them to one page. So we'll send them to a thank you page, and then we'll just send them to this one offer. That's totally fine here. It will make sense. So, like I said, I will be using ClickFunnels. If you guys have ClickFunnels already, good for you. I have a bunch of videos, like 60 plus videos by now on ClickFunnels related material. If you don't, feel free to follow along with me. I give you a 14-day free trial with my affiliate link at go.ivanmana.com/ClickFunnels. I'll put the link in the description. You can follow along with me, and we will be able to build out our survey/quiz landing page for this offer together, okay? The next thing we have to do is build out our survey. So let's click on ClickFunnels here. We'll go to Funnels, and they change their layout quite often, so it might look a little bit different from my videos, but the process is still the same. And we're gonna click on Build a New Funnel. And what we wanna do here is we want to create a landing page. We wanna send people to a thank you page, and then from the thank you page, we wanna transfer them to the offer, okay? And on the landing page, of course, we're gonna have a quiz. So let's suppose we wanna create emails. Let's name this. So let's say this is Steel Bite Pro. And you can add it to a group if you want, but this is okay for now. So we'll click Build Funnel. And we'll let it load for a second. And so now we can select from a bunch of different templates. In an effort to make a page look maybe something similar to this, it doesn't have to be like this. The main thing here, guys, is I'm gonna show you how to create a quiz, okay? So it doesn't matter what you pick, but for simplicity, maybe let's start off with a blank page. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything that will kind of look that good, although we can just change it around. But let's just create a blank page here and we'll just work from start to finish. So here looks like I already had one here, but we will select a blank page. So we're going to select this blank page. You should have it somewhere in your ClickFunnels where it just says blank page. This is going to be your ClickFunnels username. So my username is actually your username here. You can change it. And so the name of this is SteelBite Pro. So this is going to be our opt-in page, and then this is going to be our thank you page. Okay, so let's click on edit page, and let's make our page look something like this. So we'll have kind of this logo or the name of our brand at the top, and then we'll have a description here, and then we'll have some more information. And then when someone enters this, let's create a pop-up saying, you know, hey, thanks for your answers. Enter your email and we'll send you more information about it. And then we'll send them to the thank you page and then the offer, okay? And let's go back. So what we want to do here is let's start off with this part. So in ClickFunnels, you have, again, as with any other builder, you have the section right here, which is in teal. Then you have the kind of the specific rows and columns in blue, and then you have the specific element in orange, okay? So in here, let's maybe get rid of this and let's add a 2-column or 3-column maybe, or 4-column row. And that way we can add like our name over here at the top. So just like they have here. So we can create a name for our product. We want to be careful with SteelBite Pro. Now these guys, they don't have an affiliate page, so we can't really see what's allowed or what's not. We can contact them and find out, like, hey, can we use your name on our landing page, things like that. But for the time being, while we're doing this, we can't send an email and wait for a reply. So we'll just do something. So to be safe, let's say, you know, let's say tooth cleaners or something. Tooth cure. Let's say teeth cure, for example. Okay, let's say that's the name, teeth cure. And you know, you can spend some time and actually create a logo, or we can just create a text and make it look like a logo. So we can go through the font and just, you know, make it look a bit, I mean, Oswald, that looks fair, right? Either of these look okay. Yeah, so you can just play around with it. I think Oswald looks okay. We can increase the size of it maybe, like that. Okay, and then that's the bold color. Yeah, so let's see if it's bolded. Yeah, so it is bolded already, so that's fine. And then let's reduce the margins here, right? So we just have too much space there at the top and at the bottom. So that looks about right. Maybe let's remove the space a little bit more. We got a bit too much, so maybe really try to squeeze it in there. Okay, and then reduce the left to right padding so that it goes kind of on the edge. And then one more thing we could do is select it and just left align it, and now it, you know, looks like a logo. Or no, center looks fine. Okay, so we've got this part right, we got the logo. Now let's actually create the body here. So let's add a different section, and I believe this is wide, so let's see. Yeah, so the section width here is wide, so let's go in here and add another wide section. And then this one's gonna be for our body, right? So we'll have two. We'll have one section for this and then another section for additional information. So this one we can start, we can add a row here, 1 column, and then we're gonna add a headline. And then we have to create some sort of good looking headline here, right? A headline that's relevant to this offer. So this one asks, want to know how to bring, yeah. So we want to entice people to fill out our survey, right? So we have to offer them something. What are you going to get by filling the survey? So for example, we could say, want to know how to, or want to know the 60-second trick to rebuilding your teeth, and, you know, let's just say, and getting rid of tooth decay. Want to know the 60-second trick you can do before going to bed to rebuild your teeth and get rid of tooth decay. So maybe something like that. Maybe add a little space here. Okay, so let's just change this font. Looks a bit weird. So Roboto looks a bit weird. That looks okay. Maybe we want to make it something like this, right? So what we could do is, if we want to make the font similar to this, we can, so what I did was I right-clicked the page here and I clicked on Inspect or Control-Shift-I. And I'm just going to go here and hover over this, and we're going to see what the fonts are, right? So they're Poppins and Sans Serif. Now, I don't believe we have a pop-ins. We can check. So we're going to select this text here, and we can check if there is a pop-ins. So we're going to scroll down. They do have a limited list, but it's still pretty good. I mean, this is a pretty, there's a lot of fonts here. So it looks like we don't have pop-ins, so we can try sans serif. Now, I don't think sans serif is like a standalone actual font. It's a type of a font. So I don't know if we'll actually find sans serif, but we can try something else. Yeah, so there's no like standalone sans serif. So what we can do is let's, for example, select open sans. That looks okay. Okay, so we can just leave it at that. It looks pretty similar to this. Maybe we want to bold it. Oh, it's already bolded, actually. Okay, so maybe let's unbold this because it looks a bit weird. Yeah, like both of them bolded look a bit weird. So we can do that. There's no colors here. And then we can maybe add a little subheadline here. So maybe we could go here and add a subheadline. And we can just say, you know, users, so maybe we can just flat out copy that. And go back here and let's put that there. We're gonna paste it, user, say it's better than implants, okay? And maybe we could, so let's add a little bit more space here maybe between the two. And then maybe we can change the color of it to be this green color, right? So we try to maintain the consistency. So we're gonna again inspect. We're gonna go over here, come over here, and here's the color, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and copy this color. You could also use a Chrome extension called ColorZilla. I don't know if it'll work here just because there's so little space. Kind of, yeah, but see how it takes the outside and it changes the color? So you can use ColorZilla. It's like an extension if you don't, you know, if you can't follow with what I'm doing, but it's pretty simple. Just click inspect and then select the size here by clicking this little option, and then you should be able to select that. We'll go to copy, and well, we don't have to even highlight that. And yeah, so we want to change the text color. So we're gonna delete that and we're gonna paste the new green right there. That looks about right. Let's make it open sans again. Okay. So that looks about right. Okay, so far so good. So we're kind of working from top to bottom, but let's go ahead and let's create this, right? Like this shadow, this big shadow around the whole box first so we can actually see. So we're gonna select the section here. We want to select the entire section. We want to go into advanced and we want to go into drop shadow. We can play around with this. That looks about right. Corner radius, maybe we want to add a radius. We don't want it. That's too much, I think. Let's see what they have. Yeah, too much. Maybe 20. Looks about right. 20, so that looks fine. And you know, we have the shadow everywhere. So that looks good, but let's add a little bit more space here from the top. So it looks like there's, you know, maybe something like this. Okay. So we can do that. Okay, so that looks good. So we got our base, right? So now let's say we want to add an image here, right here, and then we want to add the survey on the left-hand side. Now, you don't have to do it exactly this way, right? So you could do it any way you want to. So again, let's go back. Oops. So I'm going to have to occasionally reopen the page and automatically redirects, unfortunately. So we'll just have to occasionally reopen it. So we want to create the image there. So what we want to do here is we're going to add a row, and we're going to add a 2-column row now, right? So we're going to add 2 columns. We're going to select image here. And let's select this image. Now you can spend some time looking for the perfect image. We're not gonna do that here, so let's just see what we can find. We'll go here, and let's go to search, and let's say maybe teeth. And you know, we can probably use an image of a good-looking girl, and you know, it's gonna attract a lot of guys. We can definitely do that. Or we can find something a bit more relevant. So up to you. Yes, like this one. Nice teeth, right? So that one looks pretty good. So what you can do is you can double click it and it's gonna add it to your library and you can use that later on. So I suggest doing that actually. Don't just select it and click add image. Download it because sometimes the URL will change and then your image will just not work anymore. Okay, so let's say we wanna do that. This looks a bit big, so let's reduce that, maybe 400. No, it's about the same. Maybe 300, okay. So maybe 350, looks about right, okay. So looks kind of funny image, but you can adjust it. And then let's add the actual survey here. Okay, so we want to do something like this. So we're gonna select element and we can add the survey. So this is where ClickFunnels really comes in handy, right? This is the actual meat of the, you know, of the video. So we're gonna go here and select survey. Okay, and now this is our base survey. We got that here. Now we do want to kind of tell people what they're doing, right? So we can't make it look exactly like this. I don't know if they're using ClickFunnels or not, or if they are, they're probably using custom coding because we can't replicate this exactly in ClickFunnels, but we can do something similar. So what we want to do is probably use this part here, you know, to see if this quiz could work for you. We want to add that at the top. So we can just go ahead and copy this part, and then we can add an element, and we can add, maybe we'll say a subheadline. We're going to copy this part here, or paste it, I mean, and then we want to select that element and drag it to the top, right? And then we want to add more space between the survey and the question. So that could work. I don't like it to be being all caps. So actually, we'll just rewrite it. Complete the short survey below to know if this offer will work for you. To know if this trick. Okay. So we could say something like that. We could add a little arrow technically. Let's just differentiate it a little bit. Oh, it looks kind of bland, kind of boring. Okay, so let's do something like that. That looks okay. Maybe let's reduce the size a little bit. Okay, obviously, you guys, you can play around with this as much as you want to, okay? But I am just, one of my faults is that I'm kind of a perfectionist. So I'm trying to make it as perfect as possible, but obviously you should do this on your own time. You know, so we've done that. Now we have to change the survey. So what we can do here is, and it says it's in beta, guys. It's been in beta for like 2 years. I don't think they're coming back to this, to be honest. Okay, I'm pretty sure it's always going to be in beta. You know, who knows? But they've been in beta for a long time, so I don't think they're going to do anything else. So don't put your hopes up. But this is where we're going to add our questions, and this is where we'll add our outcomes. Okay, so if you decide you later want to add people, send people to different pages, this is where you would do it. Under settings, you can show progress bar, you can hide it. I'll show you what these things look like. And then these are the questions, okay? So over here, we can select this question. Let's name the question. Let's say this question 1. We'll put the two dots, semicolon is what you call it. And then for the subtitle, we can ask a question, okay? So now we have to ask some questions to get people interested, right? To get them committed to our offer. So we can go through this, we can read through this. I took you know, a few moments to read through this so that I can have an idea of what to do for the video, obviously not to waste your time. So we can start with a simple question. We can start like, do you brush your teeth, right? Or like, how often do you brush your teeth? We can start with something like this, just something simple, okay? You want to start with something really simple. So question 1, we could say maybe how often or how many times, let's say how many times a day do you brush your teeth? Okay, so let's start with something simple to get them in, right? We want to get them committed to keep answering. So you can add a thumbnail with images, but you'll have to add good looking images, or just text. So let's select text, it's easier for now, but you know what to do. You can also have, you know, all these different radio options you can choose here, or vertical list. So you can, your questions don't have to go from top to bottom. They can go like by 2x2s or 4x4s, right? Depending on how many options you have. So let's say how many times a day do you brush your teeth? So let's say we can have 0, we can have 1, we can add an answer, and let's say 2, and let's say maybe 3 plus. You don't, you know, there's no number of how many answers you should have. You could have just 2 answers. You could have 2 or 10 answers, doesn't matter. There's no right answer. But over here, for example, I'm doing that. So if we go back here now, you know, here's what our question is gonna look like, okay? So it looks fairly good. Now, I'm trying to see. So this is all white, right, over here. And this one is a bit grayish. So what we could do is we could make kind of this part a bit gray. This one, or we could make it more bluish like this. Up to you, there's no right answer. Maybe we could make it greenish because all of this is green, right? And in fact, we could probably make this green just because it matches with this. So actually, that's what I'm going to do. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to select that color. I'm using Colorzilla. Let's select this. Actually, again, you don't have to select it. We're going to delete that. We're going to paste. Okay, so, kind of hard to see, but you can play around with it. We'll go to columns. We're going to select our column, right? So see how it selects the column and it kind of highlights it. We're going to select this one. And let's add a background color, and let's add this color here. Now this is way too dark, so we want to reduce the opacity a little bit. Maybe, you know, something like this. Just add a little bit of flavor to it. So it doesn't have to be too dark, just a little bit, right? Oops, okay. Let's try it again. Okay, yeah, so sometimes it kind of bugs out, and when you deselect it, it does that. So let's just select here. You gotta click here for it to work. Okay, so one more thing you notice is that, you know, there's way too much, you know, there's basically no padding or margins on the sides here. So what we want to do is reduce that a little bit, or actually increase it, right? So that there's a bit more space, and then this one we want to add a bit more space from the top. So we're going to go into columns. We're going to select the column again, and then this is the top margin. You don't want to touch that. You want to touch the top padding here. So we're going to add a little bit of space like that. Okay, so that looks about right. So we're well on our way to creating this quiz landing page, guys. Again, you can use this for whatever offer you want. It doesn't have to be, you know, just this one or whatever I'm doing here. So we've added question 1. That looks good. Now you can go in here. You know, they don't have any themes yet. They're saying it's under development, right? And edit themes. Again, it's still not there. It's been like 2 years or even 3 years. But you can adjust the sizes here. So this is the question size right here, right? It says question size. You can align the question left or right. And we'll probably just keep it center. For the question size though, so this is the actual question. Looks like you can't, or sorry, this is the question align, and then this is the question subalign. Okay, so this is for the question, and then this is the question sub. So let's go back into advanced. Then this is the answer size. We can adjust that a little bit. So maybe make it a little bit smaller. It looks a bit big. Okay, maybe 18 is okay. And then progress size, you can make it, that's that bar right there. So that's the progress bar that I was talking about earlier. You can have a progress color. So in our case, maybe green will work. Yeah, there's not many colors. You can change the color to other than these, but you will need some coding. Okay, so I'm not going to get into that here. You can also adjust. So yeah, these are just some of the options you can adjust. Now this is the hover color. So when you actually hover over these options, what color do you want it to be? There's no green here, huh? Dark green would have been nice. So let's just select blue here, I guess. And then grow and shadow is fine. So that's just the type when you actually hover. When you select it, once it's done, that's what it's going to be like. And let's not make this, by the way, let's make it maybe greenish is okay, even though it looks a bit weird. And that's pretty much it for the options. Okay, you can add animations, but there's no need to do that. So let's go into settings. Let's click on edit survey options, and let's add another question now, right? So we want to add a different question. We want to click on create. And now we've asked people a basic question. We said, how many times do you brush your teeth? So what other question can we ask them? Okay, so we're going to go through this. We can see, so maybe we can say, you know, which one of these describes you better? Do you have gum disease, tooth decay, or bad breath? Okay, so maybe we can do that. So we could say, so let's say question 2, and then we're gonna click here. Which of the following statements describes you better? Okay, and then here we can say I have tooth decay. We could add an answer. We could say I have gum disease or I have bad breath. So I have gum disease or I have bad breath. Okay, so we can just leave it at that. And yes, we're gonna leave all this to next question. Okay, now you can end a survey depending on their answer. So if they have some out of the world answer that just isn't relevant at all, like, hey, actually I don't have any tooth problems, you would probably want to just end the survey and say, hey, this isn't for you, right? So we should be good with this question. So let's go back and then let's add maybe 1 or 2 more questions, but you can create as many as you want. There's no limit. So we can say question 3, and then we could say, you know, so they have all these, right? So you can say, even after taking care of your teeth, do you still find you're, let's say, experiencing issues? Okay, and then we can just say yes and no for this one. And you can add like maybe or something, but we'll, you know, those are fine. And let's add 1 more question. Let's say, so notice how we're getting people kind of prepped up, right? They're like, yes, 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 like I'm having these issues. Yes, I have this, I have this. Boom, here's a solution for you, right? So that's the idea. This works a little bit, in my opinion, like it adds a little more commitment than just a regular landing page where people just click a button and they're taken to the next page, or even if they have to sign up, because you're really getting more, I guess, engaged audiences and more targeted audiences, people that have specific issues. So for the 4th question, let's say we want to ask, you know, if there was a solution to your, you know, to your tooth issues, would you be interested in finding out more? Okay, and then we can just say definitely. Maybe we can say yes, definitely. We can say I'd be interested in learning more. Or we can say, for example, we can say no, I actually don't have any tooth problems. And so in this case, it's like, well, okay, if you select this question, why are you even here, right? So for someone answering this with this answer, we could maybe send them to a different landing page or a different offer, okay? So now that we've done these questions, right, what we can do is if you go into outcomes, this is the default outcome. So we're gonna load the page and then redirect. So let's say we wanna open a pop-up, oops. So we're gonna submit a pop-up and then we're gonna create a thank you page, which is gonna take people to our affiliate offer, okay? So we're gonna create a pop-up. However, let's suppose someone answered, no, I actually don't have any tooth problems. You're gonna add an outcome. You're gonna click on add condition. So for your question 4, if the answer is no, I actually don't have any tooth problems, maybe you wanna send them to either an instant page redirect or loading. You wanna send them to like a different offer. I don't know what, what would be relevant in this case, because if they don't have a tooth problem, I don't know what their issue is. But this is the idea. This is what you would be doing if you knew it. So for example, for Max Bounty, if you have all these different, they have all these different gift cards or what, like reward offers, you can send them to the different page, like a McDonald's coupon, right? Best Buy coupon, right? All these different coupons. Let me know in the comments if you want me to make a video on a Max Bounty survey. If there's enough demand, if enough of you guys are interested, I'll probably make a video on that as well. But that being said, we're pretty much good to go here with the survey. So by the way, this one, yeah, we can keep it at that. It doesn't matter. So let's suppose we want to take people to then, my page. We're going to add that. Now you do need to add HTTPS here or it's not going to work. So you got to add HTTPS and then add the whole kind of protocol here. And then it's going to redirect. Okay. And then for any other question, it's going to take people to the default. Okay. So we can check this. We have all the questions and everything here is good to go. Okay. So we can hit save. Let's hit save. Let's name this. This is Steel Bite Pro. That's the offer we're doing. And we should be good here. Okay, so now what we can do is let's add maybe a little bit more information right underneath here, kind of like what they have here. And again, right over here. So we could just explain a little bit more about this offer. And then we can add more information here below as well. Okay, so we can add another section. And then we're gonna briefly create a pop-up and a thank you page, and that should be it. So we're gonna select here, add new element. Let's add a paragraph. And let's head over to SteelBite Pro and see if we can find some information about this product. And if we could kind of say, why should users fill this survey out? So, I read through this a little bit. He's kind of building up the attention. This Thomas Spears saying, hey, here's what happened to me, and then here's this solution. So what we can do is we can copy maybe this part. And then let's just play around with it. We'll change it. And then we're gonna paste it, and let's left align it. And then we do have to, let's edit this first and then I'll show you what you have to do, because when you paste it in like that, it's not actually going to look like this. Okay, so when you actually preview page, it's all going to look squished. So you do have to do a few edits. I'll show you what to do. But let's say, here, let's change this, and let's say I had big issues with my teeth and even woke up one day, so we can add a little story, or we can just ignore it and we could just say, complete the survey to do this. So we could just say, let's just do that properly. So let's just say, complete the short quiz on the left to discover. Let's do that. To discover a completely natural and inexpensive method that makes it possible for you to effortlessly regenerate all your gums while super cementing. And then we can just probably leave it at that. You can add a little bit more, but this generally adds enough information. Let's just suppose, right? Complete and short quiz. And then, okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna backspace here. We're gonna backspace again, because as you noticed, when I backspaced, it did nothing, and that's because it was pasted in like that. So it would look bad once we preview the page, okay? So just make sure to do that all the time. And you can test it yourself if you want. Just save and then test it without doing this, and you'll see what I mean. So let's suppose that's it for here. So let's suppose we want to increase the space here, right? We want to add a little bit more. We're gonna go into columns. We're gonna select this column again, and we're gonna add more space at the bottom. So we're gonna add maybe something like this. Okay, so far so good, guys. Let me know in the comments if something's off, if you're not following. So what we're gonna do here is let's create a bit more information. So we're gonna add another section here. I'm gonna select it. Let's do wide again. And here we're just going to add a little bit more information, right, for Google purposes or for Facebook or just for people, just to let them know what this is. And we can copy paste something else again. So like this part, we can just, we can just copy this and show that. Just like they have here. See, they have some more information here, and then they have take the quiz now, which just takes you to the top. It takes you to the top again. So we're going to add here, let's say add new row. We're going to add one column, and we're going to click on add new element. Let's add a headline, and let's go back here. Let's copy this whole thing, go back here. Let's paste it, okay. And okay, so that looks okay. Trying to see if we can squeeze it into one line. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah, but that one looks a bit different. So yeah, that should be okay. Now, if there is extra space, what you can do is if you select that, see how if you drag this a bit more to the left, it adds a little bit more space. So select the section, and then you can also select this blue part here, and you can do the same thing. And yeah, in this case, there's already no space left, like that's as far as it goes. So that's okay. What we can do is, let's see if we can reduce it a little bit, and also let's select a quickly open sans, right? We want to make you want to try to make the font consistent, guys. You don't want to make the font different on every single kind of line. So we can do that, and then maybe we can also add a little bit of shadow or something to it. So maybe subtle shadow, let's see, mid shadow. Maybe that's okay. Or no, let's add just subtle shadow. So text shadow, let's add subtle. Okay, so that looks okay, guys, right? That'll do. Let's add another section here. So ideally, when you can, you should add new rows, just because it makes it easier to then control the element that's inside it. You don't have to. So like over here, we have an element, and then right underneath we have an element. It's okay here. But whenever you can, you should add more of these rows. It just becomes easier to manage in the long term, okay? And over here, we're gonna add a new element, let's say paragraph. And then what we wanna do here is paste it. And actually, let's maybe left align this, or no? How does that look? No, maybe not. Okay, so we'll keep it at that. And then over here, see how there's like a big shadow, like a circle? So we don't wanna do that. So let's select this again. We're gonna go into advanced, and then for the edges, we wanna say top only, right? And we want this to be square like that. So it does that. And then for this one, we can add another section like they have over here. See how they have this section in gray? Or we can just leave it like that. That doesn't look bad at all, actually. Okay, so we could just leave it at that, but we'll try both ways. So let's go in and let's copy this part now. By the way, guys, our survey is pretty much done, okay? So once we finish this landing page, we'll quickly take a look, see what it looks like. And let's paste it here, and let's left align it. And then as you can see, it kind of pastes it kind of crappily. So what you gotta do is let's just move that. We can also make the text a bit bigger too, so let me see. But the text is okay, like it's decent size. I don't want to make it any bigger or smaller. That actually looks pretty good. So we'll just leave it at that, but you do have to go in and kind of just, make it look nice. So we'll go in here, we'll change that, change this, these look okay. We'll go in here and we'll change that. And these look okay. One line, sentences, that's good. Okay, so that looks good. So I told you, you have to kind of go into these blank spots and you have to press backspace, right? Because look what happens if you don't. So if we save this, if we save it and if we preview this page, and here's what it looks like. Looks pretty good if you ask me. It looks like this. See how it's all squished, right? So that's why I was telling you that you have to go in here and you have to add the backspaces in between. And by the way, there's too much space here, I think, between the teeth cure. So let's remove that to maybe a 10 or 5 looks good. Select that again, and let's make that a 5. Okay, that looks good. And over here, so what you're gonna do to prevent that is you're gonna backspace the space in between. So I'm clicking backspace, back, twice, okay? Twice, and then you gotta click enter. So 1, 2, enter, okay? So 1, 2, enter, 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 2, enter. Say it with me, 1, 2, enter, 1, 2, enter. Just kidding. But yeah, that's what you're gonna be doing. And just, it's gonna look much better this way. Okay. And almost done, guys. So just so you know, the gift, the added bonus is actually this very landing page. You could have ignored everything that we did together, and you can just use this landing page template. Okay, so I can send this to you if you're having issues building it or you want to save some time or whatnot. I can just send you this same page and then you can use it as a template. Okay, so that's kind of my added bonus. If you have a ClickFunnels account, it'll go directly into your account. If you don't, it will ask you to sign up for a free 14-day trial if you use my affiliate link. But that's pretty much all there is to it. So we've done that. Let's add a little button though. So we can add, again, like I said, we can add a new row or we can add an element. Doesn't matter in this case. And let's just add a button here. And for the button, we're going to take people back to the top, right? We don't want them to get lost. So we're going to add a button here. What color do we want it to be? Well, everything here is green, so maybe we can make it green. And then we got the color picker here. We got the color saved. So let's make the color green here. So we'll make it consistent. So we'll click here and we'll click the background color. Let's delete all that. Let's paste that in and we're going to click on that again. And that looks okay to me. So we can say, let me take the survey, right? And then we can add a little icon to the top. So icon picker after. We can add arrow. Maybe we can add an arrow, pointing back to the top like this. Something like that. Okay, or we can take maybe like a notepad, maybe something like that instead. That looks like a book. Or here, maybe notes. Yeah, it looks a bit weird. Or here. Okay, that looks okay. Okay, let's just leave it at that. That looks good, and we're saying let me take the survey. Okay, so we'll take people back to the top, but first let's just make this consistent. So you definitely you want to read through this, guys. Don't just copy paste it. Like, read through this, see if it makes sense. This just explains this product in a little bit more detail. So this one leads people to the testimonials. Right here, it says 57,000 people, and then people like, and then it shows testimonials. So we don't want that. We don't have testimonials. So we're just gonna delete that, and we'll just end it at that. But for the button, we're gonna click the button. We're gonna click the button. We're gonna set action, and then we want to take people back to the top, right? So we're gonna scroll to section, and we're gonna select this first part right there. Okay, that's the very first option, and that should be it. Now we can add another section here. And this one could be for like our privacy policy and all that stuff. Okay, so let's quickly go in and do that. So we just added that little row. Let's add an element. We're going to add a paragraph. And let's say copyright 2020. What's the name of our thing that we did? Teeth cure. Okay. Teeth cure. Okay, and then we can say privacy policy. We could say terms of use, and we can say disclaimer. Okay, and then maybe we could bold that. And what do you guys think? Okay, now what you could do, like I said, if you select this option here, you can make this part a bit gray, just like for the other example. So if you go into shadow again, we can add a little shadow. And maybe something like that. That doesn't look bad. And then for settings, for background color, we can add a little grayish. So something like this. And that actually doesn't look bad. Okay, so we can maybe leave it at that. That actually doesn't look bad. Okay, but like I said, you can change it however you want to. And then, yeah, we do want to keep it square at the bottom. And we want to keep it square at the top. So we're not adding, the rounded angles or anything like that. And looks like we got everything set up here, guys. Maybe we can reduce the little extra padding there. We can make it look like that. Left, right margins don't matter because we're smack dab in the middle. And so that's pretty much it for our landing page. So let's go ahead and save this. And like I said, let's quickly test it. And then all we're gonna do is we're gonna create a pop-up, and then we're gonna create our thank you page. So let's select these options here. Now we don't have a pop-up yet, so if we select any of these two, it's not really, or it might open the pop-up, but it's gonna be incomplete. Yeah, so here's our pop-up that we don't have anything yet. But if we select this option here, it should take us to our website. Because remember, we added our website in here. So give it a second, and then yeah, here it is. Okay, so that's what you can do. You can add whatever you want. Hopefully you get the idea now of how this works. So we can save this again, and let's go in and change our pop-up, and then we're going to change our thank you page, and then from the thank you page we can send people to this offer, okay, to this affiliate link. And then if you want to promote it anywhere like Google or Facebook, check out my courses where I show you step by step how to promote products on Google and Facebook and Microsoft if you want, as well as remarketing. So with this, you will be able to do remarketing as well. So pop-up, we can click on show pop-up, and then here's the pop-up. So let's add the row. We're gonna add one column, and let's say here, let's add a little headline. So the users just entered their information. They said, I brush my teeth twice a day. Yes, I have this problem. Yes, I have this problem. So we can say something like, okay, cool, right? And then let's add another column here, and we'll add an element. And let's say, okay, cool. So now we can say, just enter your name and email below, and I'll send you more information about how to preserve your teeth. Okay, and we'll say I'll email it. And actually, we can say send, because it's pretty obvious. If they're entering their email, it's pretty obvious that send means that. Okay, and then over here we can now add our buttons and our input forms. Okay, so here's the button, but we're gonna add input. We're gonna go in here, we're gonna duplicate this, and let's add a little bit more space here. Too much. 10 is more than enough. Actually, let's do 5. 5 looks good. And then let's add a button. Go in here, add a button, and that looks about right. Okay, so yeah, that looks like it's 10. So let's do 10. Sorry, guys. Okay, so looks good for the button. Sorry, that's input. Let's select the button here, and let's make this fill width, and then we can say email me more information now. Okay, and then we can go to advanced. You can add an icon, you don't have to. Let's see if we can find like an email. Yeah, so here we have some email, so that's pretty cool. So we can add something like this or this. Yeah, that looks cool. Okay, so we can leave it at that. Trying to think what else. Yeah, let's change the font family. I don't remember if it actually does. No, it does not. Okay, so we can select the font. Now, if you want to have like a default font family, by the way, if you go into settings and you go into typography here, you can select like a default font, so you don't have to keep on going and keep remaking it, which is probably what we'll end up doing. So we'll just say Open Sans, and now everything's going to be in Open Sans. You don't have to go in and redo it. So if you check this one, yeah, this one's in Open Sans. Okay, so you don't have to go in and redo, like change it up yourself. Okay, so let's go back to pop-up. We'll show pop-up, and before we edit these fields, let me edit the settings for the pop-up, and let's add a little border around it because it looks a bit weird like that. So let's add a border, full border. And yeah, like a little border in black, like that. Maybe 5 pixels, a bit too much. Let's do 3. And we can have a style, we can have dashed. It looks a bit weird. Let's do solid. And then for the color, we can have it like solid black, like that, or like grayish. Or we could have it in green, actually. Green looks pretty cool, right? Like this green. No, it doesn't. No, it does not. Okay, let's leave it at black. And leave it in gray, actually. That was fine. Okay, so we're gonna leave it at that. We can add a little drop shadow, so it looks like this. That looks pretty cool though. So it depends on how much you want to do it. Let's say 40%. No, let's say 30%. Okay, cool. So we can leave it at that. We can reduce the size here a little bit, move it up a bit. Okay, something like that. And for the email, okay, so this one, let's make this one the name, right? So input type, let's say first name, and then we're gonna say enter your first name here, ... and then this is the first name field, and let's make it required. You do want to get the people's name, and then here it's Open Sans. See, it's done that automatically. And this one, we're gonna select that. We want to say enter your email here, ... and we can make this required, Open Sans, input type. Okay, so we want to make it email, and email it will automatically be required, obviously. And then actually, let's select this, so we don't want to say first name. Let's just say enter your name here. It looks weird. And then for this one, what we want to do is we want to submit the form. So we're going to submit the form, and we're going to take people to our thank you page after they submit this form. And on the thank you page is where we say, hey, thanks for signing up. Check your email. Also, check out the here's the video, which tells you the trick as well, or whatever. And if you followed my other videos, I cover how to set this up with GetResponse. If you're using GetResponse, let me know in the comments below what autoresponder you're using. That should be pretty much it. So that looks okay, right? Doesn't look bad. So we'll click save. This is going to be our page. So let's go back now. You can also mobile optimize it. Generally, it's pretty mobile optimized. So like this looks pretty good to me. You can make little adjustments. I do have a video on that as well, but this looks fairly good to me as is, okay? So we'll click go back, and let's add a little thank you page, which is just gonna say, you know, we're done here. Check your email and check this link out as well. That's all we're gonna do. So you can select a thank you page template here. There's no right answer. I like this one. Let's select this one, which has like 3 steps, even though we probably won't need 3 steps actually, but we can do it anyway. So let's click edit now that we've chosen the template. And okay, so we can remove this. We don't need that. Let's remove the logo at the top. And now this looks a bit squished, so let's go in here and let's add a bit more spacing here. Something like that. That looks a bit squished, so let's add a bit more spacing here at the top, or let's remove the padding here. So we're gonna make it like that. And then we could say thank you for signing up, or we don't have to say that. I mean, we could say thank you for signing up. I'm just trying to think. So if it's a survey, right? I mean, this is benefiting people because now they're added to the list, but they're also getting something. So it's not like they signed up. Kind of they did. Okay, screw it. Let's just leave it at that. So let's just say, you know, check your email to get your plan on how to, or to get the video that reveals how to preserve your teeth, right? Like, what does this do exactly? Let's go back. Let's say how to rebuild your teeth and get rid of tooth decay in 60 seconds. Yeah, in 60 seconds, okay? If you still haven't received the email, check your spam folder or contact me at yvonne@yvonnemana.com, okay? And you would enter your email here that you used to send the emails. So this looks fairly done here. Let's change this. We said, what did we say our offer was? I forgot. It was like, oops, not default. It was like dental cure or something, right? I don't remember what it was. Something like that. But whatever the name of our offer was, we'll link it here. So we could have a little check mark here. Maybe this is too big. Maybe it's okay. So over here, there is no confirmation. We're not sending people like a link to confirm, although you can. And if that's the case, you should do that. But you can change these around. So like over here, if you do add the double opt-in where people have to confirm their subscription to you before they get added, you would do that here. And then over here, you would say something like get access to the free video. And then step 3, you know, cure your issues. But we're going to delete that. And instead, we're going to add something more streamlined, more basic. So we're going to select here, add new row. We'll add column. And we can add subheadline, and we'll just say, you know, in the meantime, or we could say, you can also click here. You can also click the button below to, oh, and we didn't change the button color, did we? The other button color, yeah, we didn't change it. We should probably change that too. You can also click the button below to see the video. Okay, and then we can just add a little button. And again, we can add an element, or we could add a row. I always prefer to add rows, gives me more control over the element inside of it. So we're gonna add the button, and then for the button, we're gonna select it here. Let's just change the color before we forget. It was one of these. No, let's see if I can paste it and if it saves the color. No. Okay, so let's quickly go back. Let's copy this really quickly, guys. So I'm gonna copy Control-C, okay? And then we're just gonna paste it here. Okay, so something like that, which is pretty similar to this color. And then we can say, show me the video. And then this is where we send them to the affiliate link, okay? And notice how this is gonna be, you know, the video is gonna make so much more sense to them, right? As opposed to just throwing them to this video out of nowhere. So we copy that link. Let's go back here. We're gonna come in here. We're gonna set the action. We're gonna go to website URL. Now, you do also wanna set up ClickMagick tracking, okay? So as you know, tracking extremely important. You do wanna know what keywords, what interest groups, what ads converted. So to the end of that, we're gonna say $TID equals click ID. I have a whole, you know, tens of videos explaining what this is, but you do have to add this to the end of your ClickBank affiliate link. So that you can track sales, okay? And I'll show you what to do with ClickMagick. We got to add the code here to this page really quickly as well. And that's it for this. I mean, that looks pretty good. I'm not seeing anything else we should do. Let's quickly go here and let's make sure it's open sans. This is font size 18, so let's make this 18 as well. So we're gonna make it 18, and we can make it the same color. That one was like a bit grayish, so something like this, close enough. And then we can add a little bit, you know, we can move that up a little bit, something like this, and then we can reduce the padding between it. And that looks pretty much it, guys, for this. Okay, so let's hit save. Let's say Steel Bite Pro. Let's say thank you. Okay, so just something like that. We'll click save. Let's go back. Let's quickly finish off the landing page. There was one thing I really wanted to do, and then we'll add the code, and then we should be good to go. And then again, guys, I'm gonna give you this funnel so you can download it and use it yourself. Okay, so for the pop-up, if we show pop-up, we can change that color here. So we can go over here, select this button. I'm gonna Control C to copy, go into pop-up, show pop-up, select the button here, and just add it there. Okay, and then we'll do something like that. Okay, so we're done here. Let's do one more thing real quick. I'm gonna log into ClickMagick. So this is what I use to track everything, guys. Again, incredibly important. If you don't have ClickMagick, check out my videos. I show you everything from step A to Z. I got like 50 plus videos showing you how to use it. I also offer you a 30-day free trial as opposed to a 14-day free trial if you use my affiliate link at go.ivanmana.com/clickmagick. So I'm gonna quickly log in here to this onboarding account. We'll click login, and we're gonna click on campaigns. And over here, what you can do is you can select this option here, and we're gonna click on website code. We're gonna add this click tracking code to our main landing page. So we'll click on settings, we'll click on tracking code, and we can add it here. Then we can close out of that, we can click save. We can go back, and then we have to add the conversion tracking code for the action. So we see how many people actually signed up, right? Because we'd be curious. So if we're promoting this on Google or Facebook, we wanna see how our ads have been performing. So we wanna see how many people actually completed the survey. So we're gonna go back here, go to tracking code, and we'll quickly add it there as well. And now that's gonna track an action. Okay, so let's quickly test everything, make sure everything is working correctly. So we'll go back. Now we don't have the email integration in place yet. We didn't set it up here, but again, I have videos showing you how to do that, so check those out. But the main thing here, the meat and bones of this video is showing you how to create a survey landing page. So we're gonna preview this page, and you know, this looks good. We can scroll down, we can read a bit more. Take me to the survey. It's taking us back here. So how many times do you brush your teeth? Once. What describes? So actually, we can add another option here saying none, right? Like if it's none of the above, we should probably add another option. So you always want to go through this again, guys, and just make sure it's working. Do you still find issues? Let's say yes, and then yes, definitely. And then we got the pop-up, so let's test it. Let's say Ivan@ivan.com. We'll click email. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, so we got that, and then we're gonna click on show me the video, and then boom. Okay, we're taken here. Now this video definitely makes more sense. This looks pretty cool, guys. You know, I really encourage you to actually try this out. This looks really cool. I haven't, but I encourage you to try this out on Google, on Facebook, you know, even this exact landing page. See how it goes. It looks pretty cool to me, to be honest. This video makes a lot more sense than just direct linking to this video. Direct linking is like people like, what? Like, where did this come from? This is okay because this has a headline, but some of the products on ClickBank, there's no headline. There's just one huge video, and it's like what is this video even about? So these quiz landing pages are so helpful, guys. And then if we go to ClickMagick, we close that. Well, actually, we're not going to be able to see the stats here. Let's go to URL Builder really quickly. And then if we click on this page, what we want to do is if we copy this page, let's just quickly see, make sure ClickMagick is working correctly too. Let's say we're promoting on Google. Let's say we're promoting on Google Display, and the name of the campaign is Steel Bite Pro. So now if we copy this link, and if we paste it and we redo the same process we just did, we should see all the stats here. So let's go to dashboard, and then boom, right? We see one click and one action for the ClickFunnels URL, because it's, you know, your username.clickfunnels. You can get a custom domain. I have videos showing you how to do that, so check those out if you want a custom domain. Or let me know in the comments if you want a video like a full, complete ClickFunnels and ClickBank video like I did for GetResponse and GroupFunnels. I have videos on that, so check those out if you want to know how to promote ClickBank products with those. But that is it, guys. This is your landing page. Looks pretty good to me. Let me know what you think. I like it. Again, as an added bonus, I'm going to give you this exact landing page. I'm going to share this exact page with you. If I go into settings, you know, I can, here's the link. So I'm going to be giving you this link. I'll be sharing that with you. You can click on it and you'll be able to just promote this exact same landing page I have here. That being said, thank you for watching. Once again, if you haven't seen my videos on how to promote ClickBank products on Facebook or Google or Microsoft, check those out. Also see my courses where I teach you how to promote these products step by step on Google, Facebook, and Microsoft. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.